Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening. My name is Kim Schofield, and this is Inspiration Tuesdays. Thank you so much for joining us. Inspiration Tuesdays is a program that focuses on the importance of inspiration, personal and economic growth, surviving and thriving. Inspiration Tuesdays features guests from around the world that are an inspiration to their industries, colleagues, and communities. Today, we are going to discuss inspiration and its role in the evolution and growth of the new space economy with our very special guest, Colonel Shelli Brunswick, U.S. Air Force retired and Chief Operating Officer, Space Foundation. Shelli, welcome to Inspiration Tuesdays.
Well, thank you, Kim. It's an honor to be joining you today. And again, I'd like to thank your sponsors and distributors for making this program possible. During COVID and anytime, inspiration is something that uplifts us all and allows us to make the world a better place. And that's how I feel about the space economy as well.
So Shelli, giving people an opportunity to shine is one of the hallmarks of a good leader. Can you describe an instance where your superior boss or mentor allowed you to shine and contributed to your being the leader you are today?
Absolutely, Kim. I share with you, we have a very interesting background that's similar. We were both program managers for the military, and that was the track I was on in the U.S. Air Force when I was an officer, was a space project manager, program manager, acquisition officer. However, and I worked for Air Force acquisitions, but a job I really wanted opened up in another department of the Air Force, in the financial management area. And that job was the job that liaisoned with Capitol Hill to secure the programs and funding for the Air Force budget. And I really wanted that job. And my champion in the Air Force gave me the opportunity to interview for the job. So he could have gave me the job, but instead what he did is he set up an interview for me to interview with the financial management team. And he allowed me to earn the job on my own merit, knowledge, skills, and abilities, which in the end built my confidence to be a future leader. So I share with you that there's mentors and there's coaches and there's champions. And usually a champion is a senior executive that can help guide your career. So in this case, he was a champion, but I had several champions throughout my Air Force career that changed the course of my career. And so I'm grateful to all of them. And so as your audience is looking out there, again, because you can never be too old or too young to have a mentor, a champion, or a coach, look for those champions that help guide your career to what should be the next step. How can they help position you? But ultimately, it's up to you to earn it. And that's what a champion does, is they give you the opportunity to earn the next step.
Well, let me ask you another personal question then. It's easy to talk about success. And we hear a lot about embracing success, but can you comment on embracing your failures and having a growth mindset?
Absolutely. Careers have ups and downs. That's normal. And so I shared with you in the beginning that my journey has had 3 chapters. You know, that chapter when I was enlisted, and then I became an Air Force officer, and now my role as the COO at the Space Foundation. Let's go back to that first chapter, when I wanted to be an officer. So again, I had another champion encourage me to apply to become an officer in the U.S. Air Force. And I was at that time stationed here in Colorado Springs at the Air Force Academy. And it was the base commander who encouraged me to apply. So I applied. He wrote a letter of recommendation. Several other individuals wrote letters of recommendation. But here's the little catch. Kim, I don't have a STEM degree. I have a business background. I have an MBA. And at that time, the Air Force was really looking for STEM professionals. So my chance of being selected as an officer was 12%. But I still did my best. I put my application in, and I did not get selected. So I share that with you. Sometimes it's about timing, but in the Air Force, your application to be an officer automatically meets the next board. So there was a second chance. So I could have just let the application ride, or I could have updated it. Well, I updated it. I went back to all the individuals who wrote letters of recommendation, the base commander, the wing commander, my commander, everybody who would write letters. I updated my application, and the second time I was selected. So what I share with your audience is sometimes it doesn't work out quite like you want, but that's okay. Always do your best. Excellence in all we do. Again, it's one of those Air Force core values, excellence in all we do. If you're going to put an application in or you're going to do something, do your best and put your best foot forward. Because even had I not been selected to be an officer, I still had a wonderful career in the Air Force. And I was looking at what would my career path be if I stayed enlisted, because I had already committed at that time that I was going to be a U.S. service member for 30 years. I share that with you and your audience, that don't give up. Don't let that little didn't quite work the way I wanted knock you down. Get back up, be resilient, keep going. Something else will come along.
Shelli, you are a non-stop woman. Not too many people work as hard as you do, and it shows in everything that you do. I don't think that you could possibly achieve the leadership, notoriety, respect that you have without a lot of hard work. So, but who inspires you now? And can you tell me what role inspiration plays in helping you maintain what appears to be such a demanding schedule?
Well, that's an excellent question. Fortunately, I have a great role model. You met her, my mom. She's a wonderful role model. So my mom was a single parent and she worked in a manufacturing facility. And back in those days, both of those things, a single parent and working in a manufacturing sector as a woman, was not common. And she started working on the manufacturing line. She built tires. However, when the opportunity presented itself for her to apply for a management position, to learn about being a manager, she applied, she was accepted. And when the next opportunity for the next career progression came along, she applied and she was accepted. And she worked her way up to being a leader in that manufacturing facility. So she was a great role model. And as you can tell, I'm very similar to her. You know, the older I get, the more I see my mother in me, that tenacity, that resilience, that looking at how can I continue to improve myself and have an impact. Those are all great things my mom taught me. And the other thing she taught me was building those relationships, that integrity I talked about. You know, integrity is about trust and it's about building relationships. My mom is a wonderful relationship builder and maintainer, and she has since retired from the other industry. And I'm not going to say how old she is, but she should be retired, but she is still going full time. And she's now one of the highest earning real estate agents in California. And it's really based on that skill set of building and maintaining relationships. So my mom is my greatest role model. I think inspiration, to your second question, is critical, especially during COVID. It's very challenging. I have a lovely home office, but I've been here for about 9 or 10 months now, and looking at people through a camera similar to today and reaching out globally. And it's been wonderful, that global reach and the way we've been able to connect due to COVID, but it is also somewhat isolating. And so finding a way to be inspired every day. There are several things I like to do every day to think about how fortunate we are to be able to even connect the way we're connecting, which is based on, guess what? Space technology. Had COVID happened 10 years ago, the world would have been a very different place. But 3 space technologies made last year somewhat sustainable, and that's telehealth. We're able to connect with doctors around, through our internet, telecommunications, and teleconferencing, all things that the Space Foundation recognized as Space Technology Hall of Fame winners last year, that made COVID somewhat possible, even though there were so many challenging and sad situations with COVID. So I want to share with you, you have to look at the inspiration, and that COVID was a disruptor. It definitely had a major impact on the economy, especially women. As we know, it's had a more disproportionate effect on women. But there are benefits to COVID. It's caused a digital transformation, and it's allowed us to see how great space technology is benefiting our lives every day. So inspiration is critically important. And again, my mom, and I'm even going to have to say my grandmother, another hardworking, tenacious woman. I come from a long line of hardworking, tenacious women, so don't mess with us.
You know, you are so incredibly inspiring, Shelli. It's been wonderful to have you on this program. And we've covered a lot of ground. But is there anything I missed? Is there anything else you would like to add or say?
Well, thank you, Kim. I do want to just share with your audience that you've heard a lot about that space ecosystem and that it's growing. And let me just tell you that today, the global space ecosystem is $424 billion, and it's going to grow 1 to 3 trillion in the next 10 to 20 years. There is a place for you in the growing space ecosystem. And the Space Foundation and O2K and the UAE Space Agency and the Saudi Space Commission and many others want to help you find your place in the growing space ecosystem. The other thing I want to say is, Kim, it's been a pleasure joining you this morning. The Space Foundation and myself, we're so honored to be partners with you and Rob, your partner at O2K, and we look forward to growing our partnership with you in the MENA region over the next year. So thank you, and thank your distributor for this program so we can share the inspiration with the world. And I want to thank your sponsor as well for making this possible.
Thank you so very much for your insights. Shelli, you are a true pioneer for women and an inspiration to all generations with your tireless efforts in promoting the opportunity that space and the new space economy is. Your enthusiasm and success are an inspiration to us all. Thank you so much. Now, for more information, please visit www.spacefoundation.org. And there's some information at the end of this video as well, some additional contact information. For our audience, you can find this video and all episodes on YouTube at Chief Inspiration Officer Kim Schofield, as well as LinkedIn at O2K Limited, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku TV, and Clubhouse. If you just want to listen in, Inspiration Tuesdays is available as a podcast on Spotify and Buzzsprout. Our next episode will feature His Excellency Marwan Al-Sakal, Executive Chairman, Sharjah Investment Authority, Sharuk, with part 1 airing April 6th. This is Kim Schofield. Thank you again for joining us. Stay safe, be well, and go forth and inspire.